what did you all create?
So I had a brush pen and I just looked. So I didn't look down. So I just like one continuous drawing, just looking out in nature, just drawing any kind of shape, just scanning everything. So I made two, but I don't know which one's the best one. So it's my whole landscape. So it's just every tree I see drop down, but I'm not looking back down at the page, just constantly just, I don't know. So it's funny because when I had the tree next to me, and I was like, like, do you like it? And that's when I'm sure all of you heard the thunder, like in a set, right? So I'm like, it can't be that bad.
So I actually drew from where I sat. So I took a photo and drew it. So I'll just pass this around while I talk about it. So what inspired me was what I shared earlier about the breathing and the, remembering to breathe. And I also thought about the campfire. So drawing that, it's about like having fire in your heart and still being able to receive love and give back love as well. And through it all, just like remembering to breathe.
So I went back to my sit spot. Like the first time I went, I just hung out first before doing anything. So I did the same thing today and the last one, just hanging out. And then I said, chit-chatting. Again, I could expose this to myself. But then I asked if I should write a haiku because I like haiku to remember the time I was there with them. So the haiku goes, green leaves fluttering, breathe in the sounds of nature slowly and with heart.
Okay, so when I arrived to my spot, I found this leaf that had been probably sitting next to me the entire time, and I thought that there was like a flower on it. I don't know if you have them here, but they're like the dandelions where you blow on them and they kind of scatter. It looked like one of those. But then I looked at it closer, and it was like when there's an explosion and there's something like against a wall and all you see is like the outline. It was like that of the dandelion flower on this leaf, and it looked like it had been painted on. It was so pretty. I didn't take a picture because I didn't want to take my phone, but I saw it and enjoyed it. But then I wanted to do some sort of drawing. So I did a tree, but I used words as the outline, as like things that I remember from like this experience. And then I wanted to draw like the falling leaves, because that was one of the sounds that I kept like reacting to and then just kind of got used to. So I'll pass it around. Some of them are kind of silly, but feel free to read it or not. It doesn't matter. But yeah, so that's what I did.
Thanks everyone for your efforts there. It's very insightful, beautiful, creative contributions, and of course, thanking you on behalf of nature as well, because you could see so much gratitude and intention to give back as well. It's wonderful. I wanted to close us out with a little bit of a note about sacred activism, which is the last point on our program. However, the funny thing is, it's like really the whole Partnering with Nature program is sacred activism. It's kind of like, we can call it Partnering with Nature, but it's really, working everyone up to hopefully, ideally, the point that we come to see that how we can act and create change in the world can come from quite a different place, and also therefore work in quite a different way. So the topic of sacred activism is really about like, how can we act from a place of love and connection rather than from fear or hate? And I think it brings together a lot of the themes that we were discussing across the 3 days, not week, 3 days. So I think through your experiences, you know, there's been some beautiful moments of like synchronicity, or times where meaning has come through in a surprising way. And that's really, I think, that's where like the magic of coming from a place of love and connection, it's what that can bring to our actions in the world. And it's a bit like what when Cynthia was talking about that sweet spot in the waterfall. That's kind of like where the piece around, you know, working with our inner nature and coming to, you know, release the blocks or contractions that are in ourselves, and how nature helps us with that, as well as coming into connection with outer nature. Another way of looking at that is that we're coming into deeper alignment with who we really are, and also deeper alignment with the world around us. And all that creates is this state like grace, where really wonderful, non-linear, helpful things can happen. And that's ultimately like my greatest hope for this course, and maybe what partly might be what inspires you moving forward, is that what you take out, you know, back into your work and your lives, you can have some tools to help you like be able to act more from that place as well. Because I think I was saying to Frank and maybe someone else the first night, but you know, the things that we need to do in the world, it's so hard to imagine how they're going to get done if there's not some kind of like magic. Or how do we muster not just a wealth of force, but how do we muster the power that exists, you know, in creation, so that we have like nature by our side and spirit by our side as we go to take action in the world. So yeah, there's a quote in there as well from Charles Eisenstein, who's a beautiful, great author who writes about wonderful things like this. And the quote is, "Creativity is not an outcome, but a way of sourcing guided action from the ground of being." So where we get our inspiration from can come from that place of connection. And the last bit is that it's not about us deciding what we want to have happen. So it's not about this plan and working out how we're going to make it happen. It's also about the yin side of things as well. So how do we, yes, have an intention, and it comes from our heart very much, but then let it go and let the forces that we're partnering with arrange for things to happen as well. So that was the little thought I wanted to leave you with. I guess revealing the what else is going on behind all this. You know, we do lots of little exercises, but there's a different way of acting in the world that's an invitation for you as well.